I am proud to announce the Walt Disney Company is acquiring Lucasfilm. Today, I'm happy to announce that Disney has agreed to acquire Marvel Entertainment. For Disney,
you put us out to work for you, and when you were done with us, you threw us away.
One thing I can't figure, what's your angle?
None of these storylines make any sense.
Are you ready? Are you?
In 2009, the Walt Disney Company bought Marvel for $4 billion. In 2012, the Walt Disney Company bought Lucasfilm for $4.06 billion. On top of a whole other list of companies they bought out, Disney became the biggest media conglomerate in the entire world. But from a strictly creative standpoint, Disney has to be one of the most inconsistent business conglomerates to exist. And this inconsistency really shines in all of their TV shows. So many S's. Okay, so let's close the door. There's WAPs out here. After the creation of their streaming service, Disney Plus, Disney decided that they wanted to jump into the deep end of TV series. And with their first show, The Mandalorian, being a widely massive success, Disney took that and went even deeper and started making a plethora of different TV shows, including Marvel and Star Wars. But sadly, this is when they started to drown, with each show teasing what would be a new creative medium for these huge franchises, and then releasing what ended up being easy money grabs. Audience decided to just stop trying to swim with Disney. I'm sorry, I had to just keep up with the swimming metaphor, deep it, Now, while some shows were able to slip through the cracks, unfortunately, Disney has a lot of issues when it comes to TV. Disney has a massive problem with plot pacing. Let's take Game of Thrones as a comparison. One of the main things that I remember when watching Game of Thrones for the first time is that pretty much every episode felt like it could have been a season finale. Because of how they got the story going and the plot moving, these allowed for these grand episodes to take place in the middle of a season rather than waiting to the season finale like most shows do. It was so satisfying to watch, and it kept you wanting to watch more because of how they progressed the plot and they used the time in each episode to move the story forward, even if season 8 destroyed it all. Disney cannot seem to conceptualize I know big words. But Disney cannot seem to handle the same concept that Game of Thrones has done and proven that it works. Every episode except the first and the last episode feel like filler episodes with a few scenes to tie in to the story that they're trying to tell. I specifically remember when I was watching episode 4 of She-Hulk, I thought to myself, who is the villain here and what's going on? Where are we going with this story? And I also want to talk about this stupid 6-episode or sometimes 8-episode roadmap that they are just bound by death to. They are quite literally capping their own potential with this absolutely awful format. But if they can't even fit enough of a plot into 6 episodes other than the first and the last episode, how can we expect them to do it in 8 or even 10 episodes? Which one of the crazy part of it is they've successfully done this before. Look at Netflix's Daredevil. Every season of that show and pretty much every episode pushed that story forward, got us closer to the season finale, but each episode in between that felt like there was a purpose. It felt like, wow, I am watching an actual good TV show. It pushed it in a positive way, and that was across 13 episodes. And not only that, they did it over 3 seasons. Now you might say that Daredevil is probably not a good example because this was when the MCU was not at its peak. Netflix made this show. It was not completely overwatched by Disney, but they actually did it again recently with season 7 of the Clone Wars actually being one of the best pieces of animated TV I have ever watched in my life. How are you able to make something as perfect as season 7 of the Clone Wars, yet these multi-million-dollar projects have less depth than a kiddie pool? I'm spitting everywhere, verbally and physically. Fun fact, the entire idea this video is being made is because of an illustration that I came up with to kind of explain the process of pacing in these Disney shows. So has anyone ever seen those videos of a hydraulic press just destroying things? The plot starts with point of contact and then slowly looks like it's getting nowhere. Then BAM! It has no resemblance of what they were trying to lay out. That's the equivalent of most of these Disney Plus shows. I'm honestly not surprised that they can't figure out pacing because they don't even know how to describe the episodes of the TV shows that they're putting out. Have you guys ever looked at the brief synopsis or description that Disney puts before each of these episodes? Well, if you haven't, here's a few examples of what they sound like.
Survivors come out of hiding. Obi-Wan searches for allies. Obi-Wan plots a mission. Matt infiltrates a prison. Fisk has his eye on Dex. Confrontation and revelation await. Fisk and Murdoch wrestle with the consequences. The action-packed special event finale. Trouble comes to Tamaha. Fireworks at the powwow.
Well, obviously these shows don't work. Who can get a job in this economy? But seriously, the formatting of these Disney Plus shows literally do not work. Now, we're gonna lean into the Marvel side a bit here, but the way they're pushing out these shows makes absolutely no sense. Say hi to Butters. Butters, look. 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 Good Lord, he just wasn't made for the camera. Now, I'm not talking about any of the limited series that Marvel has pushed out. I'm talking about these characters that got a TV show 2 to 3 years ago, and we haven't heard anything from them since. Let's talk about Moon Knight. Moon Knight was going to be a brand new character introduced into the MCU, and Marvel figured the best way to push this character into an audience is by a TV show. Now, if you don't know who Moon Knight is, he is a superhero that has alter egos, and depending on the ego at the time, he turns into a different version of Moon Knight, who gains his powers from the Egyptian god Khonshu, who is the god of, you guessed it, the moon! Now that's the pretty basic rundown of who he is, but Moon Knight has this secret alter ego known as Jake Lockley, who's the super badass side of Moon Knight that just rips people to shreds. And the only time we got to see this other alter ego of Moon Knight was at the very end of the very last episode, and it was only for a couple seconds. We didn't really even get to see him in action. And then it ended on a massive cliffhanger. Okay, all right, listen, that's okay. Cliffhangers happen in almost every TV show. We just have to wait a little bit for the next season to come out, and then we'll begin. And it has been over 2 years and we have heard nothing from Marvel or Disney about what they want to do with this character other than they want to put him in an Avengers movie, which is the movie where all of the superheroes are in it. So yeah. So they've created these shows that they don't plan on taking anywhere for a few years, which is a horrible idea because by the time the next season comes out, no one's going to remember anything. And they've also done it with She-Hulk and Hawkeye. They've quite literally lost focus to almost all of these shows because all they're trying to do is show off a shiny new toy, but there is zero depth to the characters that they are putting on the screen. These shows also don't work because I feel like, and I'm pretty certain this is true, that they realized that in order to move into the next phase, they had to introduce a ton of characters. So they just drew some names out of a hat and were like, all right, let's make a show about this one, let's make a show about this one. And then that's as far as they got with the creative process. I'm just so confused as to what they plan to do with each and every one of these characters. Now, I'm kind of going off script here, but in the first few phases of Marvel, it felt like each character that was introduced in a movie had some sort of reason or purpose that they were going to play into, somebody else's movie or an Avengers movie, something like that. We got these characters with arcs and these relationships that actually had a payoff in these big team-up movies. And now I feel like there's just so many characters that they've introduced that nobody knows what the plan actually is going to be for them. These characters are just used for a quick buck TV show, and then as soon as it's over, they put them on a shelf to get dusty until, hey, the next big Avengers movie comes out, and then let's throw them on the big screen so that way we can make some more money. And the side effect of Disney pushing this business model onto its audience is that ironically, all of these characters feel so separated in what used to be a huge, massive, conjoined cinematic universe. I mean that as in these shows feel disconnected from this overall story they're trying to tell because each and every one of these characters or TV shows are so poorly written. I didn't really want to talk about positives in this video because Disney is full of corporate billionaire suits who only care about our money, but I do want to give credit where credit is due only to those people who actually went above and beyond our expectations, who put their own artistic thought into these shows and made it their own. Because without people like that, we wouldn't have these shows that I'm about to talk about. We wouldn't have your Breaking Bad. We wouldn't have The Sopranos. We wouldn't have any shows like that. Loki, Andor, and X-Men 97 are the obvious standouts among these projects. There are lots of things that make these three shows stand out among the others: pacing, writing, acting, storytelling, whatever you want. But I think the key ingredient for me is their ability to tell a story in just one season. When I watch a season of TV, I watch in anticipation of what is going to happen. I watch in anticipation of these actors and the choices that they're making, or just what they are written to say, actually. But most of these shows get us absolutely nowhere or are used as a stepping stone to just let everyone know who a character is. But Loki, Andor, and X-Men 97 are all amazing first seasons of TV that take the time to artistically express and expand on what could be such a simple story. Loki has 2 seasons, but both of those are still great. Let's break that thought down. Andor is a side main character from a spin-off movie, Rogue One, who got his own TV show, which was a prequel to what actually happened in the original movie he was in. Saying all of that out loud really sounds like this show probably shouldn't have been greenlit, but because of the story they told and how they told it, plus the artistic craft and time they took to tell the story, this is arguably the best live action Star Wars show that has come out. And yes, I am aware that The Mandalorian exists. I've always wondered why people make videos like this. Is it to show that they are different from other people because they dislike something that other people love? Is it in the hopes that maybe a CEO or someone who makes big decisions watches the video and maybe actually makes a change? I'm not sure about other people, but for me, I wanted to make this video to kind of show you guys that we as an audience deserve better, because obviously they have the capabilities to give us better than what we're already getting. But for some reason, we don't get that, or we rarely get it on Disney Plus. I don't know if it's because they think that flashy lights, a big budget, and big names is what sells a movie. Maybe they don't think an audience can handle something that requires you to think and intake what you're actually watching. Maybe they just want to be more family friendly. But even if you are trying to be family friendly, there's a way to create a story and develop something new and intriguing. Look at the shows we've gotten. In those shows, there is something worth value. There is a story that could be told in these shows that we've already gotten that, yes, it could still be family friendly, but there might actually be something of value, something of substance that we as an audience deserve and can enjoy. Either way, me, you, the audience, we all deserve something better than we're getting, and Disney just doesn't seem to realize that. I know you might see me as a guy who's just complaining and needs to suck it up because, hey, at least we're getting something. Yes, at least we're getting something, but if people are spending $200 million on a TV show that is at best a 5 out of 10, we definitely deserve better, and they're doing something wrong. They should do something better with their money. But if you got to this point, thank you so much for watching. I always do appreciate you sticking to this point. You're probably wondering, hey, why should I subscribe to this guy? It seems like he hasn't uploaded in 4 months. Well, if you can't tell, I have moved. I moved to a new apartment. So I hope you guys stick around. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that button. Boom! 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 And like the video if you didn't, leave a comment, whatever. I've already got 3 other scripts ready for more videos, so I promise we got some stuff coming up here soon. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Toodles!